Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott, and I'm the Emperor of Stomaria. Today I want to discuss what is indeed the end of an era. So, back in October 2021, when we still identified Stomaria as a micronation, we received our very first batch of silver Stomarian statas, comprising of 100 5-stata coins. Now, for those that don't know, the name stata is not something that we just came up with. It's actually the name of what's widely considered to be the first ever true money, the first precious metal coins in ancient Lydia some 2,500 years ago. And so it's very fitting that Stomaria, as a fierce proponent of sound money and fierce critic of fiat currency, should also use this name for our own money within the monetary system that we have established. Because just like in ancient Lydia, the stata is not just a unit in its own right, but it is a weight, with each one stata representing 1 gram of pure silver, meaning that the 5-stata coins consisted of 5 grams of pure silver. These stata coins featured Stomaria on one side and the Kingdom of Wayward, which formally joined the Empire as a member state the previous month, on the other. And with the introduction of the Stomarian stata, we established what is widely considered to be the first ever micronational money, as we would have defined it at the time. Many micronations print off worthless bits of coloured paper and claim that it has value in its own right. Other micronations claim that the worthless bits of coloured paper that they print off does have value because it's supposedly backed by a commodity. While others still use all manner of other random things, be it tokens from game boards, bottle caps, or even time itself. None of this is money, because money is something that is very specific. It is a unit of account and medium of exchange. It is something that is divisible, durable, and fungible. But above all, it is something that acts as a store of value for long periods of time. And so, as I said, we were the first micronation, as we would have defined ourselves at the time, to establish a genuine monetary system that was based on sound money, commodity money, real money. It was something that featured Stomaria, something that had genuine, real-world value, and something that was used for trade, commerce, and enterprise, albeit on a very small scale. The following year, in August 2022, we ordered another batch of silver Stomarian statas, this time 200 5-stata coins featuring the Kingdom of Lithua, a micronation that we allied with in April 2022 and visited in July 2022 in order to mark this relationship. And these stata coins have been traded, sold, and gifted to various individuals within Stomaria, to the member states of the Empire, to external allies and trade partners, and to individuals and companies that have no association with Stomaria itself. This includes trade or some kind of engagement with the Kingdom of Wayward, the Republic of Vesta, the Princedom of Moreland, the Kingdom of Molossia, the Kingdom of Lithua, and the Commonwealth of Dunland. However, the cost of producing these coins was extortionate in the sense that the actual spot price of the silver was far outweighed by the premium that we had to pay to have them made in the first place. However, this cost was considered acceptable, because our intention was to establish a trade network between our friends and allies, and utilizing the silver Stomarian stata as a medium of exchange within that trade network would mean that eventually these coins would find their way back into the imperial treasury so that they could be entered into circulation yet again. Nevertheless, in 2023, we started to consider ways in which we could reduce the initial cost of producing these statas. And to make it more cost-effective would mean that we'd be able to produce more. And in the end, we decided to settle on plain silver bars, which we would acquire and then hand stamp as a more cost-effective method of injecting real wealth into the trade network that we were establishing. And so, in March and April 2023, we began to purchase 50-gram silver bars and turned them into 50 stata bars, which featured Stomaria, the Kingdom of Wayward, and the Republic of Vesta, with Wayward and Vesta being member states of the Empire. These stata bars quickly became the preferred medium of exchange within Stomaria because, from our perspective, they were far easier to acquire and far cheaper to acquire. To put it into perspective, the premium on 5 stata coins was around 515%, whereas the premium on the Stater bars was closer to 60%. So in the long term, you can see why the transition from coins to bars made sense. Nevertheless, over the years, the 300 Stater coins that we had initially have been whittled down through trade, through commerce, through enterprise, through being given away as gifts or as prizes or whatever else. But I have been determined over the last few months to make the transition complete, to transition completely to the utilization of Stater bars over the Stater coins. Unfortunately, this does come with an obvious drawback. The actual value, the weight, the unit of the Stater bar is 10 times higher than the Stater coin, meaning that smaller transactions are now off limits, in the sense that the days where we could purchase a box of eggs, a jar of jam, some fish or whatever else is now out of the question. We cannot use a single Stater bar for that purpose. Instead, what we are doing is we're utilizing the Stater bars for larger transactions, in particular between the governing bodies of the member states of the Empire and our external allies and partners. But despite this drawback, I do consider this to be a necessary step to preserve the integrity of the monetary system that we have established, one that utilizes genuine money, real money, sound money, commodity money, where the value of the money is derived from the material, from the commodity itself. This is absolutely essential in preserving the wealth of those that utilize it, and the fiat currency of the world will all eventually be inflated into oblivion with only commodity money remaining. With all of that said, with the last batch of Stater coins having been minted more than 3 years ago at this point, and with the last few remaining within the Imperial Treasury expected to be sold in the coming weeks and months, it is indeed the end of an era. Now, I have set aside enough Stater coins for our monthly draws, our monthly giveaways that Stamarian citizens are automatically entered into until June 2026. But aside from that, we have a dozen or so coins left within the Imperial Treasury. So if you are interested in taking on a little piece of Stamarian history, I suggest you get on with it, because once they're gone, they're gone. If you want to learn more about Stamaria, or play an active role in our development and expansion, visit our website at www.stamaria.com and find out what it means to be a Stamarian.